Hello guys, I'm Mr. Apology 2 and welcome to another not talk to Mr. Apology 2, an opinion video, because I'm doing opinions again this week and I've been lazy with videos, so sorry. This was probably going to go on Wednesday, so yeah, Wednesday. And this one's going to focus on battles, specifically battles like, mainly if you know the series, Death Battle and other battle series that do this type of things. Now I'm not gonna call it any names. I'm not gonna call it anything. All I said was like death. I didn't say death battle specifically because I wanted to talk about only death battle things, but what I wanted to do is help you guys get the idea of what I'm talking about. Series like this that do this type of research and stuff like that. I have no problem with these type of series that do this. The only problem I have is when they include research. You can do an animation, sure, of anyone fighting and stuff like that. You don't have to include research or anything. You could just go like, oh, this is my favorite fighting thing, and I just think this guy should win, because guess what? I did the animation. And you know what? That's fine. That's your animation. That's how you see it. That's fine. No one's going to judge you for anything much. Maybe some people are going to be yelling at you maybe because they're fanboys, but does that mean your animation should be proven wrong or thought against? No. It's just a random animation and people should just go like, whatever. It's not going to mean anything. But when it comes to people who do research on this and try to prove their point by their research and what they do, what I like to see on YouTube is people stand by their content and believe their content is true to them. Because a way on YouTube is a way that what you do and what you show on your content is how basically you're showing yourself as a person. And when I see these types of stuff, I'm just like, most likely they're going to pull off a character, because you can't really show much of yourself when you're doing these types of research. Problem is when you do the research either with little to no information about a character or with pretty much prediction work. Now, I have no problem with predictions about how a character's power should be and what it could be. I have no problem with that, but I don't like to say predictions, because predictions can be proven wrong instantly. It can be proven wrong in a day, literally a day, because the creator is the only one who would know how strong that character is and how well they want people to see it as. So the main point being is that, yeah, he wants to add some intense suspense to a series, of course, to get attention, but to prove how strong that character really is a different thing, and not what a creator wants. Because if every character was as strong as they could possibly be, then there would be no story, there would be no action really, because they would just be the character being every single villain they have to face. So they have to do this stuff, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. That adds tension, that adds stuff to it. It makes the show more entertaining, or it makes anything more entertaining, like a comic book, a manga, an anime, a cartoon show, a movie. It adds anything more entertainment to it. And that's what we like to do when we watch this stuff. We like to see them as entertainment. The problem is, what I'm seeing is that when you're doing research about these characters, it's not mainly to pay attention to what they fell against, but to pay attention to what was the most powerful thing they've ever done, and what's the most strongest thing that has possibly taken them down. Mainly because main characters at least, usually, I'm saying usually, some have, usually don't die in the main series they're dedicated in. But case in point, that there are things that can take down characters. They're not impervious to everything. If a character was literally, hey, I'm literally God and I can do anything and last everything, that would truly be the most boring character. They would have nothing else to them besides their strength, and that would be it. There would be nothing to take them down. You would never have to worry about the character, and it would be boring. And I know that because I watch dumb stuff like that. And I understand when people want to add tension and make the character get somewhat hurt, but that's mainly because they want to add the fact that, hey, this, this is happening, but they'll win in the end. That's what you know in the back of your mind, but at the moment, you think for a second maybe they might lose. So, what I think is the problem with like research battles type of things like this is how much research they're actually doing in what they do. I don't want to disrespect anyone who does this or anything like that, but if you're going to do research into something like this, you need to do complete and utter research on every little thing. And I'm saying that if you actually ask scientists and what they do and stuff like that, and actual people who actually do, when they actually go to research stuff, even they need a refresher course and can't just depend on their brains. They need to look back at the whole textbook again and read every passage or read that section again to review the content and do everything again and again to make sure it's fresh in their minds. I'm not saying that no one's done this bad, but there have been instances where I've seen that research has fallen very, very bad, and it's fallen on like just people just wanting attention from fandoms and just people who have just looked for the cheap way out. And it's sad. It's sad, really. I don't like to see this because it just shows that maybe either you're working for someone who really wants you to cheap out on something instead of actually making something where you can say and lift your head up, say, yeah, that's what happened, and guess what? I did the research. If you want me to prove it, I can prove it. Here it is. But when someone else does research, like I've done my fair share of research, and I've done a lot of research on everything, every single character I've ever loved, and every single character that I like. I've done every little bit of research I could. I can't afford a lot of things, so sure, I may miss out on some things, but on anything I can possibly get, I will get for that character, and I seriously will do all the research I can for that character. And yeah, I've looked up a lot of things. I've talked to a lot of people about certain characters I love, and I know every little thing, including their weaknesses, about what they do. So whenever someone's talking about my favorite character in one of these battles, I can tell whether or not they're saying the truth. I can tell whether or not they know their shit, because I've done my own research. And if I had to do my research again on a character I like because I haven't researched a character in that while, then I will, just to know and point if they're correct. And if I find an instance that they're not, then I will try to prove my point that maybe they should do more research, because they can do things like this. The problem with research battles is that once people do them a lot, it gains a lot of attention, and the problem with is that I've seen this too many times with theories and stuff like that. Theories, literally theories. Do you even know the definition of a theory, people? A theory is literally just a theory. It's not a fact. It's not logic. It's not a fact. It can't be exactly proven. A theory is a possible reason not complete reason. It's a possible reason. A theory is meant to help maybe explain something. Not completely explain it, but maybe explain it. That's the closest they can get to saying, maybe this happened. It makes a little sense. Because it's supported by just a little bit of things. Once something logical is fact, then it cannot be disproven. If you'll see this in school, if you're not in this level of school yet, this will be in school if you haven't learned it yet. I'm just saying for anybody who's not in that level of school yet. But yeah, the scientific theory is a good, and what every theory is mainly based around. Listen, when it comes to proving a research battle fight, most of these fights are theories. Okay? Is everyone mad at me now? Is everyone commenting down below that I'm a piece of shit? Now listen. Alright? Only reason in point is because the only way we would know for sure that this would really happen is if the creators themselves actually put these characters in fighting with each other in an actual licensed thing. And it's very hard when you have very different characters and you put them to fight against each other. So, it's very unlikely they ever will. So that's why we have these researched battles. The problem is that a lot of people love to use them as facts. Don't do that. Seriously, don't do that. I used to be a child like that too. I used to think that everything on the internet was true. I was a stupid kid like that. But I research my stuff, and everything I look up on the internet, every time I see something like saying, oh my god, you can't believe this, I'll be like, oh, okay, let me see if I can. And I wouldn't just click on one article and read it and go like, oh my god, guys, this is actual fact. You know, as old as I am now, I wouldn't do that. I'll be like, is this really real? And I would look it up, click on another article, look that article up, go to another article, look that article up, maybe look at a video, see if it's actually real, and then maybe look up another article, and then look at that, and maybe look if it's based on an actual website, see how credible that website is, and stuff like that, and then go back to the original article and look at the author, and look how credible the author is, and stuff like that. Yes, I do a lot of research when I do this. It's very boring to say, explain how my research is, but that's mainly how I do research like that. Whenever I see an article saying something like that, I do a lot of it. Trust me, okay? I look at almost every second or of a video or every little thing. Whenever I notice something, I go like, what is that? Okay, what does that mean? I look it up on the internet, and I look it up in books. Sometimes if I have a book that has a thing like that, or if I have something that's acquiring to me that I have that can explain it, maybe, then I'll look it up. But otherwise than that, research battles that do this is basically what I'm trying to say. Research battles that do just cheap battles or stuff like that don't do enough research into a character really are bad battles and should not be uploaded at all, because this is a way that you're showing. This is almost like giving like I wrote an essay in one night and gave it that into my professor saying that's an A+ paper right there, when it's not. I don't care how good are you in English. No one. I've talked to a ton of people in college and stuff. No one writes their perfect first draft in the first time. No one. Even my professor even says it too. Even a lot of people I've talked to said it. Like, you can't do everything perfect around the first time. If you can, that's lucky. Then you're lucky. But you might not get around the next time. Alright? Not everyone's perfect. I understand that. But it's our responsibility as a person to whether or not, if we have that power to influence a ton of people, we should influence them the right way instead of the wrong way. Alright? That's all I'm trying to get around this message. For research battles, whoever does this, if you somehow found my stupid video here, then please get this message. Actually go into doing your research. If you have a research team working for you, look up what they're researching. Look up what they're doing. Alright? And why don't you look it up yourself, what they said or whatever they did. Don't just take everything they take for granted. Take it a little bit of salt. Take it with a little bit of salt, as everyone says. Alright? Take it with a spoon of salt. Alright? Understand that nothing anyone says could be true. Alright? Because it could be like tomorrow or anything like that. Someone could say, oh my god, the world's ending. Do you know that? And would you take that as a fact? No, you wouldn't. You'll be like, how? And how do you know this? Or either you would just shrug it off and say, hey man, that's a crazy person. You wouldn't take it as fact. But if it was a big celebrity or someone like that saying, oh my god, the world's ending, some people might think it's a joke, of course, but other people may be like, holy shit, the world's ending. Don't do that. I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. Think for yourselves. Don't just believe the first thing one person says or one person does or whatever they show you. Look it up for yourself. Do your own research. Don't go believing the first thing the first celebrity says to you, because even they might be wrong. Alright? Be smart out there, people. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, Miss Apology 2, thank you guys for listening in. And I'm gonna sign off before I bore you more.